Well, good Sunday morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up those football gods here. Hope everybody is doing great on this Sunday morning. Today is the last day of rookie OTAs. And so far, so good. We didn't have any problems as far as some teams had players that weren't in shape and literally are throwing up left and right and not being able to make it through the practices. The Cowboys have a different approach, that they're not out there just to kill the guys. They're out there to teach, because this is the chance to get that focal point where you've got the coaches with only the 29 players plus the veterans, 29 new guys that are there that can get a lot more one-on-one coaching, because once you get everybody in there together, all 90 players on the roster, it becomes difficult then to get a lot of that extra help and stuff. So this is the time to get the players' feet wet, start seeing what you've got, start looking and saying, yeah, we were right about drafting this guy, and we can start looking at where he's going to fit in on the roster. It's great. It is absolutely positively great, because we're getting a little bit of a taste of the NFL season, just a little bit of one, not the full plate and stuff, but this is just the appetize wetter. Now, don't forget, today, 5 o'clock Eastern, like we always do every Sunday, we have our Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening live stream where we have the Zoom call. If you are a channel member, you can be part of the show. Call in and part of the audience. We've got some great guys and things, that come in that have a wealth of knowledge. And for me, it's actually a lot of fun. And I really and truly enjoy doing these Zoom calls with not only the fellas, but the ladies as well. So tune in. It's fun. And if you're not a channel member, it's okay, because it's still streamed out there. We get to your questions and things like that. And now we'll have had a taste of all 3 days of rookie OTAs. The funny thing, a couple things that are going on. The Eagle fans have taken the place of Washington fans. Last year, it was the Washington fans that were going crazy because they said, Chase Young, we've got the defensive rookie of the year, we got a great defense, we made the playoffs, we went toe to toe against Tom Brady, and the predictions out there for the Washington football team were they're going to be great, that they may be one of the best teams. And it was kind of revisionist history with Ryan Fitzpatrick. You could look at this year and say that the Eagles are this year's Washington team. They're the flavor of the offseason. Talk about all the things that all the things that the Eagles have done to get better. And they literally have been on my channel crazily just talking about how good they are. You know what's funny? The last time the Eagles beat the Cowboys, we had Ben DiNucci as a quarterback. Do you know, since the Eagles won the Super Bowl, you know how many times the Eagles have beaten the Cowboys led by Dak Prescott? The Dallas Cowboys are 25-6 in the division with Dak Prescott. That's ownership. Now, they can say all they want about the new weapons that they brought for the Eagles and this, that, and the other, fine. But until you actually beat him on a regular basis, I'm not sure I'm ready to give it up. I just want to bring back, just to remind you Eagle fans, that maybe you might want to slow down some, because I'm going to say, if you don't destroy the Dallas Cowboys, if you aren't as good as you say, it's all on tape, all of the things that you've said. I will come back to haunt you.
Ryan Fitzpatrick's the quarterback. What do I do with that? So I think the NFC is much harder to predict, but this is what we do. Our NFC predictions, let's unveil them first with the NFC East. I think Washington has the best coach and easily the best defense. I'll pick them to win the division. I do worry that Ryan Fitzpatrick, I believe it's his 9th team in 17 years, will play them out of wins. He's just a gunslinger. There's very few left in the NFL that play like him, or for that matter with a beard, look like him. But I do believe the culture, Ron Rivera, he's creating in the defense, 10-7. Dallas is going to be a playoff team to me at 9-8. If you look at their schedule, with the exception of a game against Tampa Bay early, I don't believe they play another playoff team till week 11. There's a lot of average defenses on that schedule, and I picked the Cowboys at 9-8 to finish second, the Giants 8-9 third, and it's really a vote for Dak Prescott. I trust Dak Prescott taking care of the football more than I do turnover-prone Daniel Jones taking care of the football. Now, the Giants have a much better defense than Dallas, but I do believe the Cowboys' offense is more grooved. They've played together now. The defense will be better. So those are go-either-way teams. I trust Dak more than Daniel Jones. The Eagles may have the worst quarterback coaching combo in the league. We don't know, but I don't trust Nick Sirianni. It's a rebuilding mess. To the NFC.
So that was this time last year. They had the Washington Commanders away at 10-7. They had us as a playoff team at 9-8. They had the Giants at 8-9, and the Eagles 4-13. They were way wrong, Colin. You were way off on that. That's not even close. So as we go through, what you'll notice is we always get the same. We get the same thing. It's just different players. The Eagles are the flavor of the month. Now, the funny thing is, typically, they take the team that won the division and they say, they're the best team. They're going to win again. This year, they're saying, the Eagles, they're the best team. The Cowboys will never get any love, and that's fine. I'm actually happier being the underdog than to be the guy that everybody's looking at. Now, for the Cowboys, we got a couple of things that we are looking at. Allegedly, the Dallas Cowboys are interested in 6'5" Anthony Barr, linebacker, free agent from the Minnesota Vikings, who's made about $66 million in his career. Missed 6 games last year due to injury, but as far as size-wise, this is Dan Quinn's thing. You would almost think that Dan Quinn is trying to build a basketball team because he loves length. He loves tall guys, and he loves guys that can move. And this, if the price is right, now I don't know what the price being right is going to be for Anthony Barr. Quite frankly, we can look at Von Miller. We can look at Bobby Wagner. We can look at Zadea Smith. And those guys' cap hit number for this year is less than what we're paying Dalton Schultz on the franchise tag. So I'm not sure what kind of number they're looking for that would be team friendly, but we are low on linebackers. We have a lot of linebackers on the roster, but as far as linebackers that we're sure of, Jabril Cox is coming back from an ACL. You don't know if he'll be 100%. You want to be able to use Micah on different things. You want to have him playing some middle linebacker. Sometimes you want him rushing on the edge. Sometimes you may want to just have him as a wild card. If you are able to get a guy like Anthony Barr out there, that's kind of like a security blanket. That gives you another guy in the rotation. That gives you another guy who can play as a playmaker. And I believe that the Dallas Cowboys are looking to recreate the Legion of Doom and make it the Legion of Boom, and we're making the Legion of Doom. And maybe we need to come up with another name for it, but it's got to be something good. But the front seven of this defense will be how this team is going to win and go. Make no mistake about it. There's certain things that you can look back, and every time we always think about Roger Staubach and Drew Pearson and Tony Dorsett. We think about Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith. But people don't really realize how instrumental the doomsday defense was for the Dallas Cowboys in the 70s. They don't realize how important that number one defense during the 90s was to that offense and those teams winning. And if you look back to the Cowboys consistently throughout the 2000s, for the most part, have had comparable offenses to what we had in Super Bowl years. It's been generally the defenses that weren't on par with us being championship teams. Tony Romo had the arm, the ability, and we had the playmakers on offense that we could have been a Super Bowl team. But we've been through too many times where we've had an Aaron Rodgers who, they get away with a few holds, but Aaron Rodgers escapes the pocket and ends up getting a pass on the sidelines that gets them a chance to have the game-winning field goal. We've seen where Jared Goff on third down is running, and Sean Lee and, I can't remember, safety, we went to the Raiders, where they can't get the stop on that play to give us a chance with the football. We saw last year where we couldn't stop the run. It's never been about the offense. It's always been the defense hasn't been just enough. When you think about the Cowboys' philosophy in the waning years of Tony Romo, we had to design the offense to protect the defense. We would say, if we can keep our defense off the field, they're great. And that lies the problem for the Dallas Cowboys. Instead of our defense being the redheaded stepchild, we need our defense to help lead the team and be part of winning. And that, my friends, is what I believe Dan Quinn is building. And if you can get a guy like Anthony Barr, that gives you a little bit more peace of mind to say, okay, if Jabril Cox isn't 100%, we can take a little more time before we get him on the field. You know, maybe we don't have to play Luke Gifford quite as much. Maybe we're able to go ahead and take Micah Parsons and use him more as a wild card, where he's the fourth most pressures in the NFL. Fourth most pressures in the NFL as a part-time edge rusher, that we're able to use more and more of that ability as well. So we'll see what the price is that they're looking for. He's been out there for quite a while. You've got the Minnesota Vikings connection, of course, with our coach and things. So we'll see if that happens or not. I would not be mad about it one bit. Then we have Zeke Elliott. Zeke. I'll go into Zeke a little bit more later, but I think Zeke's demise may be a little bit premature. We'll go back through and we'll say, well, Zeke Elliott, you know, he's gone down the last couple of years and so on. You know, he's not the guy. He's had too many hits and things, and he's just done. But there are some reasons that possibly for last year, he was playing great until the offensive line lost Tyron Smith, and we had to do the shuffle every week of changing the offensive line. And he tore his PCL. You can look at the year before, and Zeke never got out of the starting blocks. If you remember, Zeke had COVID a couple of weeks before they went to training camp. And remember, you could see him struggling to breathe. A couple of things that they were saying about, you know, COVID, at least early on, was possible nerve damage and things like that, muscle issues and so on. Lung capacity could be reduced 10, 15%. It may have been that he was suffering conditioning going into the season because of COVID and so on, because he ended up having a lot of fumbles that year too. That slowdown wasn't anything to do with the time that he's been on the field. It's not like Todd Gurley, who had, you know, arthritis in the knees and couldn't move. if you don't have the wind, as some of these rookies out there are finding out, you're out there tossing your cookies, you get tired, boss, and you can't play. Zeke Elliott, the first 6 weeks of the season, didn't look like he was slowing down. He was on pace for like 1,400 yards and then gets hurt. The good news is he's supposedly close to 100%, and on Friday he was out running, and the team's GPS tracked him at 22 miles an hour. Not bad. And with the Cowboys, I believe there'll be a new focus on being able to run the ball and being more balanced. We love the deep pass. Oh, man, we all love seeing CeeDee Lamb, going downfield and doing one of these numbers and, the acrobatic catches and the back shoulder fades. That's beautiful. But that's not always what wins you the Super Bowls. Being able to run that rock, that's one of those things that does it. So, with that being said, I've got to go to Home Depot and get some materials because I've got some cabinets I'm working on. Of course, in 5 hours and 45 minutes, we've got our Sunday afternoon live stream that's going on. And, of course, I got to do some cooking, things like that. There's always work to do. And, before I get out of here, let me double check here on the GoFundMe. And see where we are. I believe we're over $2,500 on the home rebuild. $2,560. Shout out to Raybury Coronado, Kramer Mahone, all the way in Hawaii, Daniel Cross, Tyson Kemp, Martin Holdman, Daniel Hill, Kevin McJunkin, Arthur Macon, Lola, Miss Hot Sauce, Kenny Powers, Terry Roberts, Jude Smith, Peter Parker, Stephanie Taylor, Jacqueline Gnomes, Kelly Johnson, Fantasy Hustler, Diane Rivera, Joanne Gonzalez, and Stephanie Sykes. Appreciate all of you guys. Stuart, definitely appreciate each and every one of you. And we're going to be doing some fun things. And we may end up doing some meetups when we get to Dallas during that and have a big cookout and stuff. So, with that being said, it's time for me to get out of here. You know how we roll.
Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to